Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's it going today, you guys? Happy Friday. I left everyone on a cliffhanger yesterday because of my internet drama. I'd like you to know that Xfinity has not come through for me, and I don't know how long it will be before it is fixed, but we bought Starlink. So Elon Musk, we went ahead and bought Elon Musk's product, and I am connected via satellite. Super happy about it. We should have no drama this morning with my internet, which is great. I'm so glad. She says, "Hi, this has been great. I'm so glad that you guys have been enjoying this. It's been so fun to teach. I You know those assessments you take on career assessments, like the thing you would do even if you weren't getting paid to do it. And for me, it's to teach. I absolutely love to break down things that are complicated and make them simple. It is my superpower. All right, lots of names that are familiar now after we've been together for 5 days. Cindy, I missed yesterday. Yes, we have them on YouTube. Go ahead and share my screen while we're waiting for everyone to come in. If you go to YouTube and you go over to the Funnel Gorgeous account, you'll see I've got them right here at the top. The FG Funnels course for beginners. It's a playlist, and you can start on day 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also click on this title right here, and it will turn them into a playlist. They they technically those go from bottom to top, which is not ideal because I think the way this runs is it it should play them in the opposite order, but I don't know much about YouTube. But that's where they are, and they are going to stay there. People are worried that we're going to take this content away. We're not. You have access to it. And I'll just drop that playlist here. I try to usually get it out within a couple hours. Cindy is asking the average wait time to get your domains connected. It was about 10 days. It's because I think we swamped the team. Yes. That's probably why there's a delay now, which is annoying. However, I will say that where is it? The domains class. Let me just search. Pretty sure. Yeah, stop being confused by domains. This is my beginner class on domains. It's definitely worth watching. It's not necessarily a walkthrough of how to do it. You could probably just follow this, but it is a great overview of domains. And I want to show you another thing while we're waiting. If you go to fgfunnels.com/help and you scroll down here, there's something called Launch a Wizard. And if you click on that, there is a domain setup wizard and an email setup wizard, and both of these will walk you through the domain process. If you click on the domain wizard, it'll ask did you purchase it in FG Funnels? Which remember, in FG Funnels, it's a lot easier. It's a lot of just one clicks. But if you purchased outside of FG Funnels, which is where most people are starting out and then they get a little overwhelmed, you would click on this button here and it will take you through the steps, and it has some videos and all of that. And the biggest thing is you have to move it into Cloudflare first. And once it's in Cloudflare, then it'll connect easily. In fact, I think these instructions are more involved than you even need them to be at this point, because I think once it's in Cloudflare, We just have a connection that's super fast, and you saw me connect it and it goes. And there's no limit. There's no limit on how many domains you connect. You can have as many as you want. One thing to remember is that when you're in the settings over here and you're over in domains and you click connect a domain, these are the primary domains that you're going to be connecting. You're going to be connecting a domain because you want to use it for a webinar, funnel, something like that. You want to connect your domain for your email, which should just be a one-time setup. I don't know what this is, so I'm just going to skip it. This is a one-time setup again for your client portal, and then the one-time setup for those link domains for things like calendars and invoices. So branded client and email are super simple once you have a primary domain in the account. That first domain, getting that first domain in can be a little overwhelming if you're having to pull it in from another place because you've got to get it into Cloudflare. All right, it's 10 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for being on time. I really enjoyed this funnel beginners class with you all, and I'm grateful that my daughters had me teaching them because I realized just how fun it is to do it on a fake business. And today is day 5. Yesterday, I left us a little bit on a cliffhanger because we were building out that membership, that subscription, the Plant Parent Recovery Club, that was $19 a month. We did go ahead and set up the client portal. We set up the community. We also set up the funnel, but we didn't connect them. And I want to do that this morning. I want to make sure that we're connecting the purchase so that they can get access to that community. We're going to go ahead and do that now. All righty. Let's just go here. Now, just to recall, over here in Sites Recovery Club, which is what we built, we did build the sales page. We used AI. We did build the order form, and we also built the product. We did that right at the end of the session yesterday, where we built the $19 a month recurring. And what we want to have happen now is that when that purchase goes through, we want it to grant access to that community that we set up. So let's go into automations. And we're going to go into our Houseplant Hospice folder and hit create new workflow and start from scratch. As a reminder, you want to be able to label everything. So purchase, plant parent, recovery club, grant access. That's what I'm going to call this workflow because that's essentially what it's doing. And what is the trigger? Give you a second to see if you guys know what the trigger would be here in order to begin this workflow. It's going to expand my chat out. All these Zoom note takers here. Oh, Andrea, that's awesome. She says she was confused and she feels so much more confident. That's awesome. All right, we got a lot of AI assistants. I'm trying to find all the actual comments of people. What are we doing? What's the trigger? Order submitted. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Membership purchase. Let's go ahead and we're going to choose order form submission. If you recall back in that first day, we talked about the difference between order form submission and order submitted. Order form submission means if they buy in this funnel. Order submitted means if they buy this product, no matter where it is. You could make a decision about how you want to do that. We'll just go ahead and do order form submission. And then we have to add some filters. We have to find the actual website funnel, the Recovery Club. We need to specify the page, which is the order form, and we need to tell it that we are looking for an actual sale. That is how we customize this trigger, and now this trigger is set. You guys remember what I suggested was best practice in every single workflow, what that first action should be? Great. Yes. Name it. Melinda was correct. Yes, you want to name it. Label clearly. Correct. Correct. Okay, close. Internal notification to user. All right, Topher got it. Assign to user. We like to do this first, always. Remember, assign it to the user, which is you. But you guys had some good options here, which was add contact tag. I was playing around in this morning, so I actually have the tag. If you don't have the tag, you just start typing and it will create a new tag. And now, what is the big action that we want to do? We want it to grant access. So let's do grant, and we're going to do grant group access. And we're going to choose the group that we made. As soon as they buy, they're going to get a tag. They're going to get invited to the group. And if you want to do an email, like a personal email, you can. You could also add an email, send email if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that today, not because that's not good practice. It is good practice, but I've already shown you how to make emails and workflows, and I want to focus our time on things that I haven't shown you yet. All righty, we're going to go ahead and save this. We're going to publish it. And we're going to grant group access. I do want to let you know that when group access is granted, there is going to be an email that gets sent out. That's not a custom welcome to the group. It's going to be the email that fires in the group settings. And I want to go back there because we did talk about it yesterday or possibly even the day before. I'm losing track of time. If we go into memberships here and we go into the settings of your main client portal up here, client portal settings, there's some things that says email settings. These are all the various emails that fire. And if we click over to community, which is what we created, right here, send an invite email when a member is added to the group. This one that fires automatically when someone is invited to the group. This is the default template, and if you edit it, it's going to ask you if you want to create a new version. But this is what they're going to get, and this is going to invite them into the community. And when they click accept invite, it's going to ask them to create a login and password and all of that sort of thing. And I did it this morning just so that you can see, where did I send it? Actually, I think I did it for a course. I don't know, but we'll go ahead and do it for Brad. But this is what the invite looks like. That there are multiple ways to do the same thing. You can send a custom login email, but I just wanted to do the easy route, and I wanted to show you that it will auto fire. And Mariah is in here. She says it's the join the group email that will be sent by the workflow grant group access step. So it's this one right here. Is that what you're saying? Is this one? This is an invitation versus this. Yes. Okay. I was clicking on the wrong one. It's basically the same email. You can customize this, right? You have been, invited access. Okay. Just wanted to show you guys where that is. Now, let's go back to our actual community group for a second because I want to show you when we go into the actual group, there were channels and posts and things like that. Here we go. Right? We talked about channels, we talked about posts, but I want to click over to the learning tab because we can add courses inside the membership, and a lot of memberships have courses. So I'm going to click add course. There is a basic course that was installed in the account. So I'm just going to use that example and we're going to click add course. And that will allow all members who are in this group to automatically have access to this course as well. You may want to build courses. There it is. And this is what it will look like. Now, when you click open, it will take them to a new page and it will open to this course area. right here where you can start course. It needs to be customized. But you may be thinking to yourself, okay, this is amazing, but what if I just want a course and I don't want a community? And we can talk about that. Now, in the example that we're doing with Dr. Fern doesn't have a standalone course. She only has a membership, which is why I wanted to show you if you wanted to put curriculum in the membership, this would be the best way to do it. You would create the course and then you would pull it in right here. Everybody tracking with me? Just go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you are tracking. Great. What we're going to do though is we are going to go over to the courses area and show you how that course came to exist. If you go to courses and you click on products, this gets installed as like a sample course in everybody's account. Oh, come on, you can do it. There we go. There it is. And that gets pulled in, and this is the one that we pulled in. But if we wanted to create a new course, we would just create start from scratch, create new, start from scratch. And this walks you through the course creation process. And if we want to, we can just say Plant Parent Recovery Foundations course. This is a course on how to get over killing plants all the time. Then it's going to ask you to upload a thumbnail. It's going to ask you to set up pricing. Now, you may be a little confused here, and I want to stop for 1 second and remind you that there are a million ways to do the same thing. This is giving you a product page if you wanted to sell the course as a one-time offer outside of the membership. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in here so that I can show you. And then it's going to generate the offer itself. You can see over here, it's showing, what it looks like. It's adding some things. Just going to let that populate. We've got confetti, you guys. You'll see here, you've got the contents, you've got the individual lessons. When you hover over the lesson, you can edit the lesson, copy the lesson, preview the lesson, delete the lesson. You can also put it into draft format. There's lots of things you can do here. You can add live sessions. You can add certificates. We're not going to go through all those details today, but I just want to show you over here. There's a bunch of things. There's these settings that we started to work through. You can come over here. There's a customize, which allows you to customize the theme, the different templates that are available. It's also going to show you an offer. This is that product page that I was talking about, that random product page. You can edit the checkout right here if you want to, and you can also just copy the link and see what it looks like. Just going to drop it up here so you can see. And you can see it functions very much like, that's awesome. It functions like a big error. It's supposed to, I'm going to just go ahead and open it in an incognito window, see if it's still going to throw that error. Well, this would be a reason to talk to the devs. It's a product page, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's possible that it's not published yet. Yes, that's very, very possible. But this is where it's an actual offer. If you want to add comments, you guys are probably right. It's not published, and that's why we're just going to check to see if it's. There we go. Look at you guys. You guys should be teaching. This is what it looks like. See, it's a very boring product page. We didn't customize this at all. You could customize it. This is a way that someone could just buy this course and not have to join your membership. I do want to stop here and just put on my little marketing coach hat and saying that a lot of people do this and then it accidentally cannibalizes their membership because people just buy the individual courses and they don't actually join your membership. So sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Okay, all of that happens over there. Now, this is the course right here. We can go back over to our community. We can log into our community like we did before, and we can now pull that course into this membership area. Now, we could make it so that only some people see it, only people who are at a level 4. You could have it make it so that they have to buy it even though they're members. It could unlock after 7 days of being a member, something like that. You can add this course right in here. There it is. And now this membership has 2 courses inside of it. Pretty cool. If you want the course to stand on its own, when people log into their client portal, their actual client portal, which I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the client portal. You'll see here that there is now a take a course. This is the customer portal that I was talking about in that first day. And when people log in, they can see the groups that they're a part of, right? It just clicked over to the group. It'll show courses that they are a part of. They can continue the course. If you had an affiliate program, it would be here. Billing, those types of things would all be here. Once Dr. Fern Greenfield has more than just a membership and maybe she has other things, she may want to go in here and she may want to go into her settings, go into her app permissions and change the default landing page. She can change it so that now when people log in, they go to that home portal area, or she could even change it so that they go to the courses. We have it set to the communities. Everybody following me and understanding how that works, how the client portal area works. Megan is saying yes. Excellent. Great. All right. What we'll do is we will send Brad manually through that automation because I don't want to actually go buy something live. That's a recurring subscription because knowing me, I'll forget. And so let's just remind ourselves what we are talking about here. We have got this, which is granting access when they buy. It's granting access to that membership. Let's put him through that. We're going to go over here. We're going to go into contacts. And we're going to add Brad manually. We're going to click on this little button and we're going to trigger an automation. And we are going to go into the purchase PPRC grant access to Brad in community. And we're going to add him in. Well, a couple other things I just want to show you. If you ever have someone who can't get into something, if you click on the contact name over here on the details, you can always go to actions. And there are things that you can do. You can add them manually to an opportunity. You can add them to a workflow here as well. And you can see all the workflows that Brad went through and the workflow that's active. You can see that he responded to an email. He purchased the plant personality assessment. He submitted the survey. We manually added him to the grant access. And you can also see what you can have a change password here. You can send a reset link. You can add him to various things as well right here. And so there's a lot of actions that you can do inside this area manually. I'm going to go ahead and see what happened here with okay, let's pull up my email. You can see here, welcome to the Plant Parent Recovery Club. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to open this in a new incognito window. You'll see it's asking Brad to set a password. I'm going to set that password. Now Brad is in here. You can see it says Brad Thompson right here. He can click over to the learning tab. It will flash this asking him to go ahead and set up his profile image. Just going to grab a random screenshot or something. I don't know. I don't know, we'll grab my podcast. Just put something in there so that we can complete it. And you'll see that he has access to these two things because we set it so that all members could see those two things. He can also see my welcome. And if he clicks over here, he can see the courses. If he clicks on courses, it will take him over to the two courses that he has. He can go back to the community as well. He can also click on this home button and he can see that he is a part of the Plant Parent Recovery Club and he has this course progress. You can also see because we have this turned on and now I'm logged in as Brad, he can also manage his subscription here and he can, um, you know, pause, cancel, blah, 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 all those things. And that is how Brad got added. Now, that is going to also fire automatically, but I just didn't want to go ahead and go through the headache of buying it live on this call. Melinda says the troubleshooting examples are great. It is, and that's one of the reasons why I developed this course so that we would just keep hitting a problem and then solving it and hit a problem and solve it because that's actually how we learn. We learn through friction, we don't learn through ease. And when you just watch a tutorial and everything's easy, it doesn't stick quite as much as when you get stuck. All right, we're going to go over here to opportunities because we just have to finish one more thing. Remember how we said new plant recovery member? We added this at the end. Brad is technically a new plant recovery member and it did not move him. And that's because we did not adjust our workflow to do so. We also forgot that we want to actually nurture people into the membership. So those are the two last things we're going to do in order to finalize this whole big business that we built in 5 days. Let's go over to automations and we're going to go into Houseplant Hospice and we're going to go into this grant access. When they buy, we're granting access, but let's also do our find opportunity. Again, we're going to find an opportunity inside the pipeline, plant personality. Pipeline stage is actually, I think I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as pipeline as parent purchase. That's the only thing we need to do. Just go find the opportunity in here. If I add any more filters, it's going to look in specific columns. But in this case, remember, Brad isn't in the nurture column. Brad is in the surveys submitted column or debrief call booked column. And I want it to search the entire pipeline for anyone who purchased the recovery club. Save action. And if the opportunity is found, we are going to update it. Pipeline, parent personality, pipeline stage is now new plant recovery member. So we're going to do right there. I think that's correct. By the way, guys, Mariah is in the chat today. Mariah is the one of our best customer support agents ever. She's amazing. All right. So we are gonna, yes, Mariah is awesome. This is going to this is not actually going to the nurture pipeline, Bridget, because we are setting up that when they actually purchase the membership, we want it to go into the we want it to go into the member, okay? And that's what we're fixing over here. Again, we've already pushed Brad through this, so unfortunately, we're not going to get to see it magically done. So I'm just going to pull him in. But we are going to do it for Karen here in a second. But you bring up a great point because we never actually built this workflow and we probably should. And that would just require us to go into automations and Houseplant Hospice. And we're going to create one. I'm going to just delete this one right here. We're going to create one more workflow to complete our week. And that is the nurture. That is the nurture workflow. Let's go ahead and start from scratch. How do you think we're going to trigger this? Anyone have an idea how we're going to trigger nurture? Megan is saying completed call. That's actually not a bad idea. But do you remember that I said manually when we were going to move the card? So when they were in the call column and Dr. Fern gets off the call, Dr. Fern can just move them to the nurture. So the trigger is actually going to be when someone lands in that pipeline stage. That's going to be the trigger. And it's going to be manual because Dr. Fern is actually going to move them. You could use a tag as well if you wanted to. Now, Mariah might have to help me with this because I'm pretty sure Mariah, is this going to be just an update opportunity or a find opportunity? Because we want it to be triggered so that when we manually move them from the debrief call into the nurture, that this is going to fire. Curious. While I'm waiting for her answer, I'm just going to do our best practices here. I'm going to assign to user, and I am going to do a contact tag that says nurture to PPRC. Oh, there we go. And I think we will probably put a little bit of a weight in here. We don't want to like be too, you know, too crazy. So let's do a day. Let's wait one day. And then we're going to send an email. And you can wait a day and send another email and send another email and send another email and send another email. User, full name, user, email. Great working with you. This is like, sort of just going to do that so that it saves. Mariah answered pipeline stage changed. And Megan figured it out as well. Amazing. Uh-oh. Did I do something? What? There we go. Pipeline stage changed. We're going to do in the pipeline here. And the pipeline stage nurture to membership. Mariah is saying, if you manually change their stage in your pipeline manually, they'll trigger this workflow. Okay, right here. So this is pipeline stage change. So if they're in the pipeline and we change it to nurture to membership, I think this is right. Hopefully she can correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to go ahead and save this trigger. We're going to actually try it. Let's try it. Nurture to membership. Make sure to toggle that baby on. And like I said, you'll want to add more emails. Now, there is one problem. You want to make sure that if they buy off of the email, that they don't keep getting these emails. That's important. But we'll go back to that in a minute. First, let's test this. All right, we're going to test it with Karen Snogglewort here. Let's go into opportunities. And I'm going to pretend I'm Dr. Greenfield, and I'm going to take Karen Snogglewort and I'm going to say, you know what, she's great. We're going to nurture her, and we are going to nurture her to membership. I manually moved her. In theory, she should now be in that workflow. There's a couple ways to check that. The execution logs, we've been doing that, right? We've been looking at those execution logs, really important. But there's another way to do it too. You can click on her name and you can actually check to see if she is in the correct workflow. And I don't know why that looks like that because I thought I had a name on it, but maybe I didn't name it. If we click on it, it should show us the workflow that she's been added to. assign to workflow, assign to user, add tag, and now it's waiting. So it looks like it worked. Nurture to membership. She is in this workflow. So that did work. So we got it right, guys. We're awesome. And this execution log is where it took us, and it showed that it's doing all of that, but it's now in the wait. You'll notice there's a little blue right here, which is showing that Karen Snogglewort is now in that waiting period. And she will get that email tomorrow. While we're thinking about it, maybe what we should do is actually say, we're excited to have you in our plant parent recovery membership. What do you think she needs to be able to buy it, you guys? What do we need to add to this email? Thank you. Yes, button with a link. Okay. Save that action. Save. Let's go get that link for her. Pop out of here. We're going to go to sites. Going to go to Recovery Club. And it's this link right here. I'm going to just pop open that link. Going to grab that. Nope, not there. Automations. We're going in here. And we are going to grab that and put the link in here. Add link, drop, save. Oops, new window, save, save action. Okay. Now, let's do one thing. Mariah, maybe you can answer Tina's question. She's saying, I do not have a community, but I have individual clients and I want to have them to have access to their own files and videos. Is that going to be the same as what we're doing now, or is that what the client portal is for? I'm going to try to answer that, Tina. Basically, you would have a client portal, but I think you'd probably want to just have courses, and that could have videos for them, like curriculum. But if you are trying to give them their own files and like recordings and hot seats, the client portal really isn't the right place for that, I don't think. But I'm going to let Mariah weigh in on that. How do you think we get them out of the workflow? I actually am not totally sure how to do this, so I'm going to try to think it out loud. But I want it to be so that they keep getting. I'm going to add another weight. Going to add another whoops, another whatever it is, day. Going to add another email. I actually don't know how to do it, guys. I don't from and we are going to do user email. Join, damn it. This is the best thing you've ever done. Don't actually send that, okay? Save action. Let's see. Let's see what the Victoria says. There is an action to remove from this workflow. Okay. Let's see. We're going to hit remove. Remove from workflow. Current workflow. But that's not going to really work because it's basically just going to take them through this entire nurture and it's going to remove them at the end of it. And we don't really want to do that. So I think Angela is probably on the right track here. Um, with an if, like an if then. But again, there's multiple ways to do it. And I feel like an if then is a little bit more complicated. And I feel like oh my gosh. Christopher is actually on the right track by saying, wouldn't you set the remove workflow in the purchase automation? I actually think that's the cleanest way to do it. And I think that's fantastic. And I'm glad that you are here and speaking up. So let's do that. We're going to go into this automation. And what we'll do is the minute they buy, before we even assign them to the user, let's remove them from the other workflow, which is the nurture to membership. Conditional steps are confusing, and that's one of the reasons, whoops, that's one of the reasons why I'm avoiding doing it that way because I want simple, I want easy. And I think so Christopher gets the gold star for today because what he said was, well, why don't we just go into the other workflow and remove them before, right away. So this, what will happen is now when Karen or whoever purchases, it'll immediately remove them from that nurture so that they won't get, so they won't get any more emails and it'll put them in this one right here, which by the way, we haven't added an email to this because the email's automatically firing. But if you wanted to add a personal email, this is where you would do it. Okay. Before we go into some questions, and I'm really hoping that that my customer support team can stay on the line here and answer questions. Whoops, because I am not the biggest expert. I'm just, like I said, I'm just a good teacher. I would like to show you how much you have accomplished. We have got two funnels. We've got our Houseplant Hospice funnel, which is selling an assessment, and we've created a survey. We also have a funnel for the Plant Parent Recovery Club. We've built that community. We've also built a little course in that community. We've built a beautiful pipeline that shows where people are in the various stages of either purchasing, submitting their survey, booking a call with you. We've customized the calendar. We've nurtured them to a membership, all of those things. We've got 4 pretty decent automations, or I'm sorry, 5. We have 5 automations that we created, starting with purchasing the assessment, submitting the survey, going to the debrief call, nurturing to the membership, and then granting them access to the membership. Fantastic. What we are going to do now for the remainder of this, because you guys have all officially graduated from the FG Funnels beginners class, is we're going to answer some questions. I'm going to do the best I can here. But as a reminder, fgfunnels.com/help gets you to our support team, all of our help docs, all of our wizards, as well as that little chat bubble where you can speak to someone that is way more intelligent than me on this software. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay, Andrea is saying, are you able to show how we would automatically remove someone's access to the membership if they cancel their subscription from the client portal? That happens automatically, I'm pretty sure. One thing that I was told by my team is that if I'm Karen and I log in and I am one of those people that cancels immediately because I don't want my card to be charged again, the system will immediately remove them when they cancel, which technically it shouldn't remove them until their next billing date, right? So that's kind of annoying. I don't know what the workaround for that is, but if they cancel it right then and there, you might want to create an automation that notifies you, check when they purchase, check their purchase date, and then actually make sure they get to stay in the community until that rebill date if you want to. But the reason why is because it was designed that when they cancel, it just removes access. So that's automatically embedded into the software, and you'll see it in those emails. The replays are going to stay up on YouTube. This is a gift to our community. We want people to have success with the software. We're not hiding this behind a paywall or anything. We've made it free for everyone. All right. Rob said for list building, if you want to set up a free downloadable PDF, how would we set that up? Where does the PDF reside in FG funnels? That's a great question. Let's go ahead and answer that. There are a couple options here for you. And I want to tell you that I may not give you exactly the right answer, but I do want to show you that inside an actual email, right here in an email, you can upload an attachment right here. You see where it says add attachment? So you can upload an attachment. So if you have a downloadable PDF, you can just upload it here. You can also grab it from media storage, but I just am not sure what happens if you put a file that's not an image in media storage. But I don't know if that's the best place. But you could put it there. The other option is, and what a lot of people do instead of the add attachment or the media storage, is they just host the PDF in like a Google Drive or a Dropbox. They generate that unique link and then they go ahead and put it right here. Yeah. Let's see. The transcripts automatically get put in YouTube. So when you're in YouTube, if you look in the description and you scroll all the way down, there's a show transcript and it shows it on the right-hand side, so it's already there. Let's see. Just curious, why do we assign ourselves as the user as the first step in a workflow? Well, Nuno taught me this back in the day, and he had a good reason, which I'm having a hard time remembering because it was like 5 years ago. But I'm pretty sure the reason is because if you have any custom values and you're using those custom values like user email or user signature or username, it's going to pull your name. And if there's a lot of different people in the system, you just want to make sure it's pulling you. That's my best answer. May not be the right answer. Kimberly, what would it take to get you to do this once a week with your new use cases? Teaching is your jam. Thank you. I know I love to teach. Let's see. What other questions are coming up? Did the free download. All right, similarly, can I set up an ebook for online access only to read in the portal without download capabilities? I am not sure exactly how I would do that because that would require embedded PDFs, right? So PDFs that are like embedded in the page that can't be downloaded. That is going to be a question that I would definitely suggest you um, ask Mariah or somebody, Victoria, Jacqueline, someone like that in our support. Can I set up a course with the option of a one-time payment and a pay in full? Yes, absolutely. Let's go ahead. That's a great question. Let's go ahead and talk about that for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into sites and I'm going to go back to our plant parent personality order form here. Mine was $2, but I had suggested that you guys make it $47. If you wanted a payment plan, what you would do here is you would make a product that's the plant parent personality assessment pay in full. And then you would make a secondary that would be plant parent personality assessment payment plan, which would act as a subscription. And that's how you would do it. And so then there would be two options on the order form, which means you'd have to go over here and you'd have to add the product right here. Also, if you wanted to add an order bump on the order page, this is what you would choose if you want there to be an actual order bump. So is it the main product or the order bump? But you would have to essentially create a product that is a payment plan version and a product that is a pay in full version. And if any of my support people are on here and they're listening to me right now, I don't know, they're busy. They're also busy in chat. If there's any details that I'm forgetting, I definitely would love for you to uh, yell at me. Let's see. Do we have to attach a domain before using the AI to create stuff? No, you absolutely do not. In fact, on day one, we created this entire funnel without any domain. The domain you can do at the end. I did that on purpose because domains tend to be a little bit of a headache. Simon's asking me a hard question here. I do not know that I can answer it. He says, if a person filled out a form and from that form a personalized PDF document is created using the information from the form, is there a way to have that form information feed into a PDF to be generated for them and then uploaded to their client portal for access? How might this work? All right, Simon, here's what I'm going to say about that. The client portal is not really the place where you store all of your customers' stuff. It's more a place where they can watch videos, watch curriculum, join communities, see their contracts or their billing, become an affiliate. If you want a place where you're like storing stuff for your clients, probably like a Google Drive is going to be better. You could, there's all kinds of like workarounds. You could in essence create a new course for every single one of your customers. And so the course actually acts as like an individual portal for a particular client, and then you could upload things there. But it sounds like the problem that you're trying to solve is you want them to fill out the form and you want it to generate a PDF that they can have. And that's yeah, I know. I'm seeing your comments. And that's ultimately what you want. You could absolutely have the system generate like an email with the custom values and the results. But I think from there, you'd have to use some sort of Google Workspace Studio flow. I don't know if you've ever seen those, where when the email comes in, it attaches it, makes it a doc or something like that in a drive. That would probably be how I would do it. But again, I'm not a systems expert. And I think people are confused when we say client portal. It's yeah, the again, you can see the weakness of the way high level names things. A client portal is for where their contracts, their estimates, they can share files, like they can upload, like let's say you're a web designer, right? And you need them to upload their brand board so that you can have access to it. You had them sign a contract, you had an estimate go out. Those are the types of things that belong in that client portal. And then the communities and the courses are separate. But it's not like a client portal where you guys are like going back and forth and sharing all these files and all of that. That's yeah. You can absolutely let's see. Okay, so Nina's asking the question about the abandoned cart. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you that. That's actually totally possible as well. We did not set up Houseplant Hospice with the correct version of the order form. You'll notice in here that we did just a one-step order form. Again, this is a beginner's class. You guys are clearly not beginners anymore, so you're asking a little bit more advanced questions, but what you would do is instead of using a one-step form, you would use a two-step form. And the two-step form actually asks for their email first, and then it goes to step two and asks for payment information. And what you do here when you want to do an abandoned cart is instead of triggering an abandoned cart when they buy, you trigger the abandoned cart when they opt in. And so that would be the automation. So when they opt in basically to step one, but they don't buy. So it's a check if automation. It's order form submission, but it's not a sale, it's an opt-in. Then you check if they purchased, and you have to, check, maybe do a wait for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever that wait is. Check to see, are they going to buy? If they don't buy, then fire the automation. If they do buy, then don't. And that's how you would do an abandoned cart sequence here. Is it possible to set courses to drip for new incoming students, but still accessible for past students? Angela, the easiest way to do that would be to just duplicate the course and have a different version. But again, my team might say something different. Let's see, any other questions? Question, can you give the AI builder a screenshot of a sample page to use as an example? Yes, you can. But again, it's new. It's going to need some time, but you can absolutely take a screenshot and say that you're interested in this vibe. I don't know if it'll match it exactly correctly. All right, Amelia says, I have a domain registered, but then I need a separate email domain. It's wanting something different than my original subdomain. Am I doing this right? Is it normal? Okay, Amelia, so these would be the types of questions I'd head over to chat for, just because I can't answer right here now. I can't see your screen. Um, yeah. Let's see. Do you have any training on embedding a link to secure trademarked ebook for readability only? I do not. I do not. The AI will not match it exactly. If you're asking it to match a current website URL, definitely will not match it exactly. I've had really good luck and I've had really bad luck. In fact, the other day I was helping my sister and it was like abhorrent. And so we went over to Claude and we got some design better, and we used some of the code from Claude. We kind of like mix and match. But sometimes the AI builder is amazing. Like if you give it branding and you give it some really good guidance, then it does amazing. But you're just gonna have to play around. You absolutely should tell it colors. And remember, the AI funnel builder is not costing any extra wallet cash right now, not until the end of the year. So just bang on it as hard and long as you want, because it'll help you get your business off the ground. All right, you guys, thank you so much for participating in this FG Funnels beginners class. I do want to let you know that if you really enjoy FG Funnels and you want to learn more, FG Society is where we do a lot of our trainings. We do trainings on AI, on marketing, and FG Funnels. It's $67 a month. It's a great membership. You can always go to fg-society.com and sign up. I do all different types of training. If you like my teaching style, that would be the best place to go to get ongoing support. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing Memorial Day weekend if you're in the United States. If not, have a great weekend and we will see you soon. Okay. Bye, everyone.